Chapter 81 Newcomers join the group. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yaoyue, thank you for the spirit stones from brother Jiang Li, I love you. Little chef from Peach Blossom Island, brother, 10 spirit stones are too expensive, Ronger will give them back to you. The devouring lord at Little chef from Peach Blossom Island, take it if I give it to you, I can afford even a few spirit stones. For others, 10 spirit stones are simply unimaginable, but for Jiang Li, it's nothing. With his current background, it's not difficult to deduce a technique to earn spirit stones, he just doesn't want to waste his time deducing some low-level techniques for spirit stones. Little chef from Peach Blossom Island, brother Jiang Li, domineering. Yaoyue, brother Jiang Li is so handsome. The infinite universe of heaven and earth, damn, stop showing off your affection, I hate this the most. Zombie Taoist priest at Lord of Devouring, boss, to be honest, Ren Tingting also misses you, how about I build a bridge for you? Just give me a spiritual stone as hard work fee. Little Li Feidao, forget my cousin, I still can't bear to part with my cousin. Long Bow, boss Jiang Li 666. The 100-year-old Taoist of Wudong, I also got something today, boss, won't you give me a red envelope? Just when everyone was chatting happily, suddenly, a prompt appeared in front of everyone, Wang Chao from the National Martial Arts World, join the chat group. Another newcomer joined the group. Wang Chao from the National Martial Arts World, Jiang Li's heart moved. The martial arts world's martial arts value is not even comparable to the low martial arts world, however, the development of the human body in the national martial arts world is far beyond most martial arts worlds. For Jiang Li, who has an extraordinary understanding, the emergence of national martial arts is much more useful than the arrival of a martial arts master. Moreover, he remembered that Wang Chao's world was also very awesome in the Galaxy era. Zixia Junzi Sword, welcome newcomers to join the group. Tian Di Wu Ji Qian Kun Jia Fa, newcomers can take a look at my Xian Xian Mysterious Secrets, which will definitely benefit you a lot. Shaoli Fei Dao, never misses, I believe it is worth it. Wudong Centenarian Taoist, what kind of world is the national martial arts world? Long Bow, so entangled, I am afraid that the world I come to is worse than the martial arts world, and I can't even afford this martial arts secret book, and I am also afraid that it is an awesome world, and we can't afford the skills it brings out. Yao Yu, newcomers, come and pay your respects to Jiang Li. Zombie Taoist at Lord of Devouring, do you know the head of the national martial arts world? The Devourer, I know a little bit. The martial arts world's martial arts value is lower than that of the martial arts world, but their boxing skills are very unique. They don't have internal force, but they can hit thousands of pounds of force with just an ordinary person's body. It is recommended that newcomers learn boxing after uploading it, which will definitely benefit you a lot. The 100-year-old Taoist of Wudong, it's simply terrible. This is the 10th level of skill, and it can hit dozens of levels of attack power. Zixia Gentleman's Sword, it's really unique. An ordinary person's body can hit thousands of pounds of force. I'm afraid it's against the sky. Shaoli Feidao, looking forward to it. The little chef of Peach Blossom Island, why doesn't every newcomer show up at the first time? Long Bow, I should still be adapting. Chat group. Wang Chao was a little confused, and then he was excited. As an urban youth, he naturally knew what a chat group was. If the creatures here are all from the heavens and the worlds, then this will be an unimaginable opportunity. At that time, if I want to help, it will be easy. Zhang Sanfeng. Isn't this the founder of Tai Chi? That he didn't know about Tiandi Wuji Qiankun Jiefa and Li Xuanhuan, but Zhang Sanfeng was well known in their world. He was the founder of Wudong and the ancestor-level master who practiced internal boxing to the peak. This shouldn't be a prank. The current technology can't form an image in the mind. After more than 10 breaths, Wang Chao judged that he was not encountering a prank, but really joined the awesome Wanjia chat group. But he seems to be different from the Zhang Sanfeng I know. This Zhang Sanfeng doesn't know what national martial arts is. This one called the Devouring Lord seems to be very awesome, as if he knows everything. Seeing that the people in the chat group said that he didn't bubble, Wang Chao didn't continue to study immediately, and immediately thought about it in his heart. The next moment, he was shocked to find that what he wanted to say appeared on the chat interface. Wang Chao, Junior Wang Chao, meet all the seniors from the heavens and the worlds. Wudong 100-year-old Taoist, oh. He is still a very sensible little guy, not bad. Zombie Taoist, the young man has a good heart and does not seem to be scared by the chat group. Tian Di Wu Ji Qian Kun Jiafa, it seems that the newcomer knows the chat group very well and knows that we are from different worlds. Yu Buchuan, if it weren't for the Devouring Lord saying whether the martial arts world is worth it, I would have thought he was a big shot. The little cook of Peach Blossom Island, although the newcomer seems to know the chat group very well, I still have to say that the people here are from different worlds. Here, you can use points to buy martial arts from different worlds. I suggest that the newcomer go and take a look at my 9E manual. Shaoli Feidao at Wang Chao, the Devouring Lord said that your boxing is amazing. Upload it quickly so that we can study it. Zixia Junzijian, yes, newbie, stop talking nonsense, hurry up and upload your skills in the points mall. With points, you can also buy skills. The first recommendation is Zixia Magic Skill, which is inexpensive and good quality, points mall. You can buy skills from different worlds, and you need points. Wang Chao's heart moved. Everything was really guessed by himself. Wang Chao, thank you for the reminder, seniors, I will upload it now. He hurriedly found the points mall and clicked in. Vajra Glazed Skill, from the Devouring Lord, worth 13,000 points. Vajra Dragon Body, from the Devouring Lord, worth, Taiyin Magic Skill, from the Devouring Lord, At this moment, Wang Chao finally knew why the Devouring Lord was the most powerful boss in the chat group, because all the powerful skills were uploaded by him alone, although he didn't know what the Golden Core and Nascent Soul levels meant. When he saw that Zhang Songfeng's Pure Yang Wuji skill was only more than 2,000 points, he understood the awesomeness of the Devouring Lord. Xingyi Iquan, Chinese Martial Arts, worth 500 points, are you sure to upload it? My Xingyi Iquan is only worth 500 points. Wang Chao was shocked. Xingyi Iquan, the top martial arts in the world, is only worth 500 points, he couldn't imagine how a martial art worth tens of thousands of points could exist. Yes. Wang Chao didn't hesitate and immediately chose to upload it. Group member Wang Chao uploaded Xingyi Iquan, please check it out in time. Group member Wang Chao uploaded Baguazhang, please check it out in time. Seeing the group prompt appear, everyone went to the points mall as soon as possible. Tian Di Wu Ji Qian Kun Jiafa, this kind of boxing that does not cultivate internal force and true qi, nor does it cultivate magic power, can actually sell for 500 points, it is indeed magical. Wudong Centenarian Taoist, I also want to study it, but unfortunately I have no points. Zixia Junzijian, hey, this national martial arts is somewhat contrary to our true qi. When fighting in national martial arts, you are required to close all the pores on your body, but as a warrior, we have to use true qi to release the body-protecting qi. The Devouring Lord, he closed his pores to prevent a breath from leaking out. You practice true qi and your power is inexhaustible. How could it be contrary to the truth? The Devouring Lord naturally bought the national martial arts. For him who is rich and powerful, this little point is nothing. Tip, when the number of group members reaches a certain limit, the chat group will enter the upgrade state. To avoid adverse consequences, please log off as soon as possible. Suddenly, a message popped up, surprising everyone, the chat group is actually going to upgrade. Zixia Junzijian, what is upgrade? The 100-year-old Taoist of Wudong, it should mean that the chat group is going to become more perfect. Perhaps the members invited in the future will be the big guys from the higher world. Zombie Taoist, don't talk, log off quickly. Little Chef from Peach Blossom Island at Lord of Devouring, goodbye, brother. Chapter 82 Dragon Roar Skystrike. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You merged Baguazhang and Xingyi Iquan, and realized that above seeing the gods, the mind manifests the saint. You combined the method of the mind manifesting the saint, with the sound of the dragon's roar, and realized the soul-type attack method, Dragon Roar Roar Sky Strike. Very easily, Jiang Li pushed the realm of national martial arts to a higher level, creating a realm above seeing the gods and not being destroyed. It is indeed a realm related to the spirit and soul, and what is cultivated is the illusory power of the mind and will. The realm of the mind manifesting the saint is of great use to Jiang Li now. His mental power has increased by more than 10 times. Speaking of something as illusory as the spirit and soul, ghosts may be the best. Ghosts, from one aspect, may not be the manifestation of the human mind and will. In the zombie world, ghosts are transformed from human souls. But in a world without ghosts, the soul is a person's spiritual will, that if he could catch a ghost and observe and analyze it carefully, he would definitely be able to solve his shortcomings in this regard. Jiang Li immediately thought of Uncle Joe's world. Last time I went there, it was just a 24-hour cross-border card, which was too short. If there is a chance, I will definitely ask Uncle Joe to issue a 7-day mission, which is enough for him to study. Spiritual manifestation. Jiang Li's heart moved. Every time he obtained the origin of the world, the will of heaven that descended was also an application of spiritual manifestation. Of course, that level of realm is no longer something that Jiang Li can guess now. Dragon Roar combined with fusion attack is indeed the best method. Jiang Li nodded secretly, and then opened the chat group. Upload the skills, spiritual manifestation, a martial arts skill above seeing the gods, worth 120,000 points, are you sure to upload it? Jiang Li's eyes lit up. The things in the martial arts system are indeed very potential. After deducing the realm above seeing the gods, the value has actually increased by hundreds of times. From this, we can also see the prospects of the ability of spiritual manifestation. Yes. Jiang Li did not hesitate and immediately chose to upload. It seems that I have to trick Wang Chao and upload more things from the world of Chinese martial arts. Baguazhang and Xingyiquan alone are not enough to understand all the mysteries of Chinese martial arts. If there are more martial arts from the world of Chinese martial arts, he will definitely be able to go further and deduce something beyond the manifestation of the mind. Unfortunately, Wang Chao now should have just started practicing boxing not long ago. From Wang Chao's speech in the group, it can be seen that this guy is still a little green, not yet the later Wang Wudi, Dragon Roaring Sky Strike. A spiritual attack secret method, worth 3 million points, are you sure to upload it? This is a spiritual attack secret method created by Jiang Li based on the manifestation of the mind, combined with the cultivation method of the soul and the unique shock effect of the dragon's roar. Not only can it emit a dragon's roar to attack with sound waves, but the mind will also cut out the sword of the mind, directly killing the enemy in the mind, and it also requires the mind to reach the level of spiritual manifestation to practice. 3 million. Jiang Li nodded. This soul attack secret method is enough to be his trump card. Upload, ding. The Devourer has uploaded spiritual manifestation, please check it out in time. Ding. The Devourer has uploaded Dragon Roaring Sky Strike, please check it out in time. At the same time, the chat group is also reminding everyone that Jiang Li has uploaded a technique. The 100-year-old Taoist priest of Wudong, Big Brother Jiang Li, I just bought your diamond glass body, and you uploaded a more powerful technique. It's too much of a ripoff. Zixia Gentleman Sword, Fortunately, I didn't buy it, I'm still raising money. Shaoli Feidao, I can't afford it. I just broke off my engagement and learned a technique like Feidao, and I haven't saved enough money to buy other techniques. Longbow, damn, Big Brother Jiang Li, are you going to let me live? The little chef of Peach Blossom Island, Brother Jiang Li is too awesome. Jiang Li, the manifestation of the soul is a realm above the state of seeing the gods and the national martial arts that I deduced. It is a cultivation method. As for the Dragon Roaring Sky Strike, it is a secret technique of soul attack and killing. You'd better not exchange it for the time being. If you don't practice to the state of the manifestation of the soul, you can't practice it. What kind of monster is this? No wonder even Zhang Sanfeng is the best person in this group. Wang Chao took a breath. It has been less than a day since he uploaded Xingyiquan and Baguazhang. This pervert named Jiang Li, based on Xingyiquan and Baguazhang, has deduced a realm above the state of seeing the gods in the national martial arts. At this moment, Wang Chao's shock can be imagined. It's a pity that I can't afford the manifestation of the soul. If I buy it and give it to Sister Chen, all his problems will be solved. But when I become stronger, I can buy it. Wang Chao set his sights on other techniques. Although Jiang Li said that the national martial arts were magical, he did not deny the power of other systems. He would not give up the national martial arts, but he would also practice things from other systems. As for what to practice, I still need to ask for advice. Wang Chao at Jiang Li, Master, what kind of gong should I exchange for that is the most suitable? Seeing Wang Chao asking for advice, Jiang Li was stunned. Jiang Li, how many points do you have now? Wang Chao, now I have a total of 130,000 points. Zixia Gentleman Sword, oh my god, the newcomer is so powerful. Shaoli Feidao, I envy you, the newcomer has this many points, which is already amazing. Zombie Taoist Priest, it's really amazing, it seems that the newcomer has great potential. Jiang Li didn't find it strange, he described the national martial arts as magical. I'm afraid that everyone in the group who has the ability has bought a copy, and Wang Chao should have received a lot of points. Jiang Li, I recommend you to buy the Vajra Indestructible Divine Art. In your world, the most feared thing is guns and cannons. With the Vajra Indestructible Divine Art, even rocket launchers can't kill you. Moreover, this divine art is also mainly for the physical body, which complements your national martial arts. As for the others, although there are better ones, you can't afford them, and it is also difficult to practice in your world. Wang Chao, thank you, Jiang Li, for your guidance. The 100-year-old Taoist of Wudong, the Vajra Indestructible Divine Art is indeed good. As long as you, Wang Chao, get started with this art, I guarantee that you can dominate the world. The heaven and earth infinite universe borrowing method, not necessarily. Didn't you see what Jiang Li said? There are guns and cannons in Wang Chao's world, which seems to be very scary. Although he couldn't see Jiang Li, Wang Chao was still full of gratitude. He didn't expect that a big man like Jiang Li would be so approachable. Just like Sister Chen, they didn't look down on themselves. Because of each other's identities, he hurriedly opened the Points Mall and exchanged for the Vajra Indestructible Divine Art. The Devouring Lord at Wang Chao, you are still doing black boxing, improve your strength as soon as possible. What can black boxing bring you? Your goal is not to make money, but to improve the realm of Chinese martial arts. When you reach the level of Bao Dan, you should go abroad and fight with guns and cannons, so that you can force out your potential. In the Chinese martial arts world, Bao Dan masters are almost rare. It is obvious that Wang Chao will not benefit much if he continues to do black boxing. He still has great expectations for Wang Chao in the Galaxy era. Wang Chao at Lord of Devouring, thank you for your advice, Jiang Li. I also realize this problem and am working on getting out. There is a second-generation official who has offended me. I am planning to kill him and then go abroad to find someone who teaches Chinese martial arts. Wang Chao said murderously, the Devouring Lord, don't be timid, just do it, who cares about the second generation? When you reach the realm of spiritual manifestation, you can roam the world as you like. When you want to return to China, no one can stop you. If he dares to implicate your parents, you will come back and kill his parents. Or send your parents abroad first and then kill him. Chapter 83 Arrival, A World of Storms. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Li remembered that in the original work, Wang Chao was also aggrieved. He was forced out of the country by the second-generation official and did not dare to do anything cruel, just because he was worried that the other party would implicate his parents. Diamond suit. In fact, it doesn't matter if Wang Chao is cruel. Even if the other party's father implicates his parents, the most he can do is lock him up and force Wang Chao to come back. Wang Wudi's potential would only be forced out if his parents were imprisoned. When he reached the realm of spiritual manifestation, and with Tang Zichen's Qiufeng awakening before he could move, even missiles were useless to him, and he could kill whoever he wanted in the world. While reading, Jiang Li hated that second-generation official. You know, that guy almost hacked Wang Chao to death several times, but Wang Chao didn't dare to kill him, not to mention how frustrated he was. Now that Wang Chao's reputation is not as popular as the original work, he can take advantage of this opportunity to send his parents out. in the original work, it was after Wang Chao went abroad, without the shackles of psychology and law, and fought in a hail of bullets that he finally reached the state of the most powerful martial arts that is indestructible to gods. Wang Chao, I understand. Zixia Junzijian, the newcomer is very wise, but don't imitate that tyrant, who has no eyesight at all and still dares to fight against the boss Jiang Li. Xiongba at Zixia Junzijian, have I offended you again? Zixia Junzijian, you beast, do you need a reason to scold you? Damn you Buchuan, that the world will meet. Xiongba is furious, but there is nothing he can do. He now regretted asking Jiang Li for orders. If it hadn't been for that order, otherwise, he wouldn't have everyone shouting for beatings now. This may be what fate says, the retribution of knowing the secret of heaven in advance. I want to change my life, and I, Xiongba, must succeed. Xiongba roared. During this time, in addition to recuperating from his injuries, he was also preparing to change his life. Today, preparation is over. In fact, even if you Buchuan didn't laugh at him, he would still be in the chat group. Since you can't change your life in your own world, then seek help from the outside world. Xiongba's eyes flashed and he quickly started editing in the chat group interface. Please note that group friend Xiongba has released a task. Mission, kill Fengyun. Task time limit, 7 days. Task reward, 50,000 points. Number of people on the mission, 6. Penalty for failure, 100,000 points. Note, if the points are not enough for deduction, the corresponding longevity yuan will be deducted. Would you like to receive it now? Yes, the way Xiongba thought of changing his life was to invite members of the chat group to come to his world and kill Bujingyun and Niefeng. He didn't believe that even if he asked Jiang Li and the others to take action, they wouldn't be able to kill Niefeng and Bujing. He also spent a lot of money, the 100,000 points for publishing the task, and the reward of 50,000 points for each of the 5 people, add up to a total of 350,000 points. This is his entire family fortune. In order to collect such a huge amount of points, he has recently done a lot of killings and forced people to confess. However, once the task came out, no one took it. When Longbo posted a mission before, it was cleared instantly. Could it be that these guys didn't accept the mission because of their own character? Xiongba didn't think that these hypocritical guys would be unmoved by 50,000 points. Lord of Devouring, there are penalties for failure. When Longbo released the mission before, there was no penalty. Borrowing method from the infinite world of heaven and earth, boss Jiang Li is right, 100,000 points will be deducted for failure. Are you crazy for wanting points? A centenary Wudang veteran, income and risk are completely out of proportion. Only fools take on this kind of mission. Little chef of Peach Blossom Island, killing Niefeng and Bujingyun was only rewarded with 50,000 points, but failure required 100,000 points as compensation. You are treating the group of friends as fools, let alone Bujingyun, that Niefeng. Before, when I almost killed you, I slashed out with a sword and the void was shattered. You thought your friends were a fool. Yao Yu, with Niefeng's fighting power, even a master of the golden elixir would be in danger, let alone the foundation building stage. He knew that these guys talked about benevolence, justice, and morality every day, but it turned out that they were blinded by points. Xiongba's expression changed. No wonder no one took this task. Thinking of Niefeng's sword that day, he was still afraid. It was just the aftermath that swept over him, and he has not fully recovered yet. With the power of that sword, even masters at the golden core stage, let alone the foundation establishment stage, could kill it. It was also for this reason that he never dared to send people to hunt down Niefeng, so he spent so much money to sway people in the chat group. But it was obvious that Niefeng's sword attack that day also scared people in the chat group. At this moment, he regretted that he would broadcast live when he killed Niefeng. If there wasn't a live broadcast, maybe a few 1,000 points could fool people in the group into killing Niefeng. After his expression turned bad for a while, Xiongba gritted his teeth and began to revise the mission. Mission, kill Fengyun. Task time limit, 7 days. Task reward, 50,000 points. Number of people on the mission, 6. Failure penalty, not set. Would you like to receive it now? Sure enough, as soon as the revised mission was sent out, it was sold out instantly. The group leader, the Devouring Lord, has accepted your mission. Group friend Yaoyue has received your mission. Group friend Yan Qixia has accepted your mission. Group friend Li Xuanhuan has accepted your mission. Group friend Long Bo has accepted your mission. Group friend Peach Blossom Island Little Chef has accepted your mission. The spirit of Xiongba is greatly boosted. Jiang Li actually accepted the task, and the other people who got the task were all cultivators. This time, Nie Feng and Bu Jingyan were doomed. They were indeed a group of hypocritical guys. In front of points, justice was bullshit. Wudong 100-year-old Taoist, damn, the Taoist has been single for 100 years, but he didn't get it this time. Tian Di Wu Ji Qian Kun Jiafa, do you think that I have been practicing hand speed recently, and I have made the 1,000-year-old tree demon bald? Xiao Li Fei Dao, me too, my cousin even quit, just to practice hand speed. Zi Xia Jun Zi Jian, I am really a waste, I can't practice, and I can't grab tasks from you. Wang Chao, you are so fast at grabbing tasks, do you think you can beat that Nie Feng? Xiao Li Fei Dao, follow Jiang Li, big brother, and you will have enough wine and meat. Zombie Taoist, I look down on you guys, you were so hypocritical before, and you actually want to help Xiongba. Jiang Li at Xiongba, open the teleportation array. The next moment, Jiang Li found himself in the main hall of Taiangxiaoyi. Li Xuanhuan, Yan Qixia, Yaoyue, Long Boy and Huang Rong also appeared here. Brother Jiang Li, I miss Ronger so much. Huang Rong, who had the most outgoing personality, gave Jiang Li a big hug at the first time. Yaoyue also came over excitedly. Brother Jiang Li, I finally see you in person. Brother Jiang Li, we meet again. Li Xuanhuan and Yan Qixia walked over quickly, smiling and chatting with Jiang Li. You are Yan Qixia. You are Li Xuanhuan, you are really handsome with instant noodles. The two looked at each other and said with a smile. Hello, Brother Jiang Li, thank you all for coming to help. I have already set up the banquet, please take a seat. Xiongba came forward excitedly, first respectfully saluted Jiang Li, and then clasped his fists to the others. Only hard currency like points can make these people put down their hypocritical mouths. Of course, there are still some tough ones, such as the zombie Taoist priest. This guy will be excluded in the future. Xiongba was a little excited. After this incident, he could not only kill Nie Feng and Bu Jingyan, but also reintegrate into the chat group, which was killing two birds with one stone. Chapter 84 Emperor Shitian's Peering. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Help, what help? Yan Qixia looked like she was asking questions knowingly. What do you mean? Xiongba's smiling face suddenly froze as if he was struck by lightning. Li Xuanhuan opened the folding fan with a swipe. Don't be polite, Leader Xiong. We are just passing by. How dare we eat at your banquet? Xiongba's face turned completely gloomy. He finally came to his senses now. I was fooled, these guys are not here to help you at all. Taking on this cross-border mission is just a tour. Anyway, for them, there is no punishment for failing the mission. You guys. He wanted to yell at the bastard, but saw Jiang Li's half-smiling expression and held it back. He didn't dare to scold. Not to mention Jiang Li, even Yan Qixia, who had just entered the Golden Core realm, could torture him. This kind of shame and humiliation can only be knocked out and swallowed. I also want to pray that these guys don't kill me by accident. You guys really won't help me. If you don't have enough points, just raise them. After his expression changed for a while, Xiongba began to plead again. As long as he can kill Nief and Bu Jingyan, he can pay no matter how high the price is. Everyone is just teasing you and defrauding you of points to come to your world for fun. I really think there is no bottom line, and you still want us to help you kill people. Yan Qixia showed a mocking smile. Li Xuanhuan nodded and said, if you talk too much, believe it or not, I will kill you first. Xiongba's expression changed. Li Xuanhuan had already established his foundation, and it was not difficult at all to kill him, a great master of martial arts. Although in theory the martial arts grand master is at the same level as the foundation stage, what Li Xuanhuan practiced was the technique created by Jiang Li. The power cannot be compared with ordinary martial arts. Jiang Li Dao, kill Niefeng and Bujinyan? You may not know that the name of your world among all the heavens and worlds is called Fengyan. The wind is Niefeng's wind, and the clouds are Bujinyan's clouds. The whole world is named after the two of them. Do you think you can still kill them? Tell me, what would the world be like if they died? As soon as this moment came out, Xiongba showed a horrified expression. The world he was in was actually named after Niefeng Bujinyan. Suddenly, he felt like his scalp was numb. The name of the world is Fengyan, and the meaning it represents is simply terrifying to contemplate. It turns out that this world is called Fengyan World. Yan Qixia and Li Xuanhuan looked surprised. Does the world also have a name? So what is the name of your own world? Let's go, brother Jiang Li, and ignore this bad guy. Jiang Li nodded, and the group walked out of the hall regardless of the horrified Xiongba. Haha. I took a photo of Xiongba's expression before, and I have to share it with everyone. Yan Qixia opened the chat interface and sent a photo of Xiongba about to explode with anger, borrowing method from the infinite world of heaven and earth. Come and see, Xiongba's expression is wonderful. Zombie Taoist priest, it's so exciting. I acted well before. Those of you who can dominate the world should thank me for cooperating with the acting. Li Xuanhuan at Zombie Daishang, who hasn't acted yet. It's just that you are too useless and didn't get the task. Borrowing from heaven and earth, there are quick hands and slow hands, and talking about credit and so on. Could it be that if you grab it, it will give me some benefits? Wang Chao, laughing so hard, Xiongba really thought that everyone was going to help him kill Niefeng. He also thought that everyone in the group had the same bottom line as him. 100-year-old Wudang veteran, It seems that everyone has a tacit understanding, and they immediately thought of trapping Xiongba. Long bow, for a person like Xiongba, let alone 50,000, even 500,000, I will not help him kill people. Zixia Junzijian, he didn't even get angry to death. Huashan sect, after Yubuchuan said these words, there was a feeling behind his back that everyone was just acting, but he took it seriously. He really thought that the people in the group were going to kill Niefeng Bujinyan to help Xiongba change his life for the sake of Xiongba's points. He really wanted to get the mission and help kill Niefeng and Bujinyan. Fortunately, he didn't show any flaws, otherwise Xiongba would end up on his own. The originally high-spirited leader of the Taiangxiawi gang became a street rat in the group because of scandals being exposed. It is better not to do bad things in the future, otherwise it will be miserable if Jiang Li tells you. Fortunately, my former self did not do any bad things. Instead, I was still a well-known gentleman's sword in the world. It is a gentleman's sword, which means that people in the world recognize him as a gentleman and he is a gentleman. This is not a good person. Who is a good person? Borrowing method from heaven and earth. It's a pity that I can only cheat him with 100,000 points, but I can't cheat him with the remaining points. Zombie priest, 100,000 is enough to break his muscles and bones. Wang Chao, forget it if he can't be tricked. Anyway, boss Jiang Li said, he will definitely die in Fengyan's hands. Damn you bastards, you guys actually got together to play tricks on me. Pfft. When Xiongba, who had been peeping at the screen, saw this, his true energy was chaotic for a while, and then the backlash caused him to spurt blood instantly. Borrowing method from the infinite world of heaven and earth, I won't tell you anymore. We have traveled around this world. If I have anything interesting to say, I'll tell you. The 100-year-old Taoist priest of Wudang at borrowing the heaven and earth, be careful. Xiongba's world is a middle-level martial arts world. The martial arts value is very high. Even the Jindan stage may not be safe. It is best to travel with longbow. Borrowing the heaven and earth, we will pay attention to safety. The world of Fengyan, Taiangxiawi. Brother Jiang Li, it turns out that different worlds have their own names. What is my world called? Huang Rong, the clinging little goblin, has been holding Jiang Li's arm and rubbing her chest, almost making Jiang Li unable to control himself. Jiang Li said, your world is called the Condor Hero's world. Brother Jiang Li, what about my world? What is it called? Yaoyue also asked curiously. Jiang Li nodded and said to Yaoyue, "Your world is called the Peerless Twins." Yaoyue showed a happy expression. "You are talking about my sister Lianqing and me, the Peerless Twins. This name is really appropriate." Jiang Li was speechless after hearing this and did not explain it. "Boss Jiang Li, what's my world called?" Li Xuanhuan was also very curious. "The world you are in is called Little Li Flying Dagger." Little Li Flying Dagger. Li Xuanhuan showed an excited expression. "Huh. Isn't this the name of my martial arts?" "Boss Jiang Li, is the world I am in called Yan Qixia's world?" Yan Qixia also showed a little excited expression, feeling that he had grasped the method of naming the world. Jiang Li shook his head and said, "No, your world is called a Chinese ghost story." Yan Qixia's expression instantly dropped. It turned out that it was not named after him. "This old turtle can't help but not come out." Jiang Li and his group walked for a while and soon went down the world's first peak. In secret, Jiang Li found that a surveillance eye had been staring at him and his group. He scanned the past with his mind and found that this person's cultivation was comparable to the nascent soul stage of a cultivator. In an instant, he knew that this should be Emperor Shitian who was ambushing in Taiangxiaoyi. It was obvious that he and his group suddenly appeared in Taiangxiaoyi and were discovered by Emperor Shitian. Jiang Li didn't plan to cause trouble for Emperor Shitian. After walking for a while, Jiang Li stopped when he saw that Emperor Shitian not only didn't show up, but also retreated back to Taiangxiaoyi. "Are you guys going with us, or are you going your separate ways?" Chapter 85 The Strongest Cuckold King, Chen. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This. Yan Qixia wanted to say that of course she would follow Jiang Li. After all, this world is not simple, and there are still dangers for them. However, when Zhao Yu and Huang Rong glared at him fiercely, he could only shake his head angrily. Eventually they separated from Jiang Li and the others and traveled together. In the middle martial arts world, the aura is indeed richer than in the low martial arts world. As Huang Rong and Yao Yu walked on the street, their stunning looks turned heads like crazy. Of course, Jiang Li has to be added to this. His good looks are also impressive, and coupled with his unworldly temperament, the women on the street are turning their heads to look at him. "You two girls stay." Suddenly someone shouted from behind. In fact, this is not the first wave of people who are attracted by Huang Rong's stunning appearance and come up to chat with them. However, after many men came up and saw Jiang Li, they left in shame. Jiang Li didn't mind this very much and didn't embarrass those people. This can only be said that Huang Rong and Yao Yue's looks are amazing. The three of them ignored the voices behind them. But that guy was also thick-skinned, so he quickly ran forward and stretched out his arms to block the way of several people. Jiang Li frowned slightly. There were people who struck up a conversation before, but none of them were so rude as the person in front of me. Running to the front to block the way, Jiang Li looked and found that this was a young man with fine features and handsome features, dressed in white. The most important thing is that this person has good skills and is a martial arts master at a young age. Not only Jiang Li, but also Huang Rong. And the other two girls showed unhappy expressions. "Hello girls, I'm Chen. My master is a martial arts master with no name in the world. How many of you are you lucky enough to meet?" Chen looked expectant. He had just been ordered by his master to visit his wife's grave. "I saw two peerless women who looked like fairies." The hot-blooded Chen still didn't care about being rude, so he shamelessly stepped forward to block the way, hoping to get acquainted. Seeing that the two women were holding swords in their hands, he believed that as long as he told the name of his master, no one would offend him. As for the man, Chen had to pretend not to see him. He believed that when the other party knew that he was an unknown disciple, he would definitely take the initiative to make friends with him. It's Chen, no wonder he's so shameless. Jiang Li suddenly realized something in his heart. No wonder he is so thick-skinned. It would be normal if it was Chen. In the original work, Chen is not the most powerful in martial arts, but he is the least shameful. It was because of his persistence that he even managed to corner Bu Jingyun during the second episode of Fengyun. However, he had no idea that the people in front of him, except for Jiang Li, did not know Wu Ming, a martial arts myth. "What the hell, Chen, Wu Ming, get out of here. Roll." Not just when Chen was looking forward to the two women in front of him and was shocked by the words woolly mythology Wu Ming, one of the women suddenly shouted loudly. The next moment, Chen felt as if his chest was hit by a heavy hammer. and he flew out with blood spurting out. The first one to attack was not Jiang Li, but Yao Yu, who was the most murderous, although after following Jiang Li, she became much gentler. But that was only for those who had close relationships with Jiang Li and Huang Rong. To others, he was still the domineering Yao Yu. With what a three-legged cat is capable of, if you try to chat with us, I can kill you tens of thousands of times with my breath. Yao Yu showed disdain. Although her focus now is on cultivating the innate body, but under the harmony of Jiang Li's yin and yang, it has reached the point of condensing the golden elixir. Chen, the master of martial arts, can be considered one of the masters in Fengyun world, but in front of Yao Yu, it was simply not enough. What a terrifying skill! I'm afraid even master is a little inferior. Chen struggled up from the ground, with a look of horror on his face. His roar almost knocked him to death. In today's martial arts world, few people can achieve this level of cultivation. How can there be such a terrifying woman in the world? Chen's mind went blank. If he had known that these women were so terrifying, he wouldn't have jumped out to show off. With such terrifying skills, there is no need to care about the nameless martial arts myths. Brother Jiang Li, do you want me to kill this rude guy? That when Yao Yu looked at Jiang Li, her murderous expression suddenly turned tender. That pretty boy is actually her brother. That what shocked Chen even more was that the man he thought would come to lick him turned out to be the brother of this terrifying woman. Moreover, judging from the tone of the other party, it is obvious that the relationship is not that of brother and sister. No, she wants to kill me. Chen's expression changed drastically, as he thought that such an act that was not too outrageous would lead to death. It's a pity that he has difficulty standing now and can't escape even if he wants to. Jiang Li shook his head and said, forget it. This is a shameless villain. Killing him will only dirty your hands. Chen didn't know what he was feeling at this moment. People don't even bother to kill themselves, thinking it would be too insulting to get their hands dirty. He wanted to have a seizure, but thinking about Yao Yu's terrifying cultivation level, this weakling had no choice but to say nothing. And he heard all the previous conversations between several people. The person who almost knocked him to death with a roar wasn't the most terrifying thing. The most terrifying thing was the man who seemed to have no power. Let's go, I'll take you to meet the real masters of this world. Compared to the weakling Sha Jianchen, Jiang Li was more interested in another thing. Sword Saint Dugu's sword. Whoever can be called a master by brother Jiang Li must be good. Let's go. Hearing what Jiang Li said, Yao Yu ignored Chen. There is not much difference between killing these ants or not. As brother Jiang Li said, killing such a villain would also dirty his own hands, so he was not qualified to die on his own hands. Hateful. After Jiang Li and the others walked away, Chen showed an angry expression. What happened today was very hurtful and insulting to him. The key is that he can't go visit his master's grave now, and he doesn't dare to tell his master the truth yet. In fact, even if he said it, he still felt that Master Wuming couldn't do anything to these mysterious masters. Jiang Li and others didn't take Chen's matter seriously. I'll go to the group and have a live broadcast with everyone. Halfway through, Huang Rong opened a chat group and prepared to live broadcast the meeting with Sword Master Dugu for the group members. Female anchor. Jiang Li looked strange. Group friend Huang Rong started the live broadcast. Please check it in time. Peach Blossom Island Little Chef, if you are interested, come quickly. Brother Jiang Li said that there are truly powerful masters in this world, and he is taking us to find them. After the news was sent out, everyone in the group immediately entered the Jipan room. Borrowing methods from the infinite world of heaven and earth. Damn it, are you a real master? Is he the one who created alluring love? If I had known earlier, I would have followed boss Jiang Li. Xiao Li Feidao, do you have any sharp eyesight? If you follow the boss Jiang Li, will it be a good thing for others? Zombie Taoist priest, Miss Huang is a good person. You know that we can't afford to go to another world, so starting a live broadcast allows us poor ghosts to broaden our horizons. It can also be regarded as a trip to another world. Zixia Junzijian, I'm so interested, thank you so much, Mr. Huang Rong. Wang Chao, finally, I can see the style of Mr. Jiang Li again. Chapter 86 Sword Saint Dugu Jian. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 100-year-old Wudang veteran, Miss Huang Rong, the master who dominates the world. What is her background? Can you introduce her to her? Long Bow, please popularize science. Little Chef of Peach Blossom Island, I have only just learned that there is such a character. I haven't had time to ask Brother Jiang Li yet. I will ask Brother Jiang Li now. Listen to yourselves. After Huang Rong posted this message in the chat group, she focused the live broadcast on Jiang Li. Seeing this, Jiang Li nodded and said, then let me tell everyone about this person. His name is Dugu Jian, he is a famous sword master in this world and a born swordsman. Dugu Jian was born in Wushuang City, a famous martial arts family in this world. His talent in swordsmanship is amazing. When he was 3 years old, he passed by the family's treasure pavilion. A divine sword sensed his unparalleled aptitude, broke through more than a dozen walls of the treasure pavilion, and voluntarily surrendered to him. You must know that this divine sword has been placed in his family's treasure house for hundreds of years and no one has been able to surrender it. That when Jiang Li said this, both Yao Yu and the two girls were a little moved. When he was only 3 years old, a peerless magic weapon took the initiative to recognize him as his master, which shows how terrifying his talent is. Zixia Junzi sword. This talent is worthy of the name of sword master. 100-year-old Wudang Taoist, he can recognize his own master and can fly. This magical weapon has probably reached the level of a cultivator's magic weapon. Shaoli Feidao, as expected of the world of Chinese martial arts, a sword will recognize its owner. This is already psychic, right? Jiang Li nodded and said, actually, you have all seen this divine sword. The sword is named Wushuang, and it is the one that Nie Feng used to almost kill Xiong Ba with one sword that day. While he was talking, he was also reading the messages in the chat group. Everyone suddenly realized, it turned out that the unparalleled magic weapon that split the void in Nie Feng's hand that day was actually the unparalleled sword of Sword Master Dugu. No wonder it was so sharp, 100-year-old Wudang Taoist, he is indeed an unparalleled magic weapon. Zixia Junzi sword, it's so awesome. Such a terrifying divine sword actually took the initiative to submit to this sword master. You can imagine how amazing the talent is. Patian, is Sword Master Dugu dead? Why did his unparalleled sword end up in Nie Feng's hand? Dugu Jian started practicing swordsmanship when he was 5 years old. When he was 7 years old, his swordsmanship surpassed that of his master. When he was 9 years old, he became a famous swordsman genius in the world. When he was 13 years old, he suddenly realized the way of swordsmanship and became a master of swordsmanship. When he was 18 years old, he decided to go to Japan in order to create the perfect swordsmanship. Because he has been poisoned by a terrible poison that can cause him to lose his emotions and desires. He believes that only by restoring his emotions and desires can he create the most perfect swordsmanship in the world. A few years later, Sword Master Dugu came back from Japan. No one knows what he went through in Japan. I only know that while he was in Japan, he created a set of Holy Spirit sword techniques. In a short period of time, he used this Holy Spirit sword technique to defeat all the masters in the world and became the #1 swordsman in the world. Huang Rong heard this and looked at Jiang Li curiously. Brother Jiang Li, don't you know the experience of the sword master Dugu in Japan? Is the perfect swordsmanship he pursues the holy swordsmanship? Yao Yue is also curious. Jiang Li shook his head and said, the Holy Spirit swordsmanship is naturally not a perfect swordsmanship. After Dugu Chobei went to Japan, he did find an antidote and restored his emotions and desires. It was also in Japan that he met the woman he loved most in his life. The first 17 moves of the Holy Spirit sword technique were actually not created by him alone, but by him and this woman together. If the two of them keep creating like this, maybe they can create a truly perfect swordsmanship. Unfortunately, on the wedding day of the two of them, due to some accident, the antidote for Dugu Jian failed, and the whole person returned to a state without emotions and 6 desires. On the wedding day, he left that woman behind and left Japan. After that, the sword master perfected the Holy Spirit sword technique and created Sword 18 and Sword 22. The swordsmanship behind this is completely focused on killing. Naturally, there is no perfect swordsmanship, What a pity. Hearing this, everyone shook their heads secretly. If this Dugu's sword hadn't become ruthless and desireless again, with his evil spirit, he might actually be able to achieve perfect sword skills. Brother Jiang Li, if this is the case, although this person is also stunning, he cannot be said to be stunningly talented or gorgeous, Huang Rong said. If this is the case, Dugu Jian cannot be said to be the Dugu Qiubai of this world. As I said before, his Holy Spirit sword technique reaches sword 22. He has been silent for many years, and now he is about to create 23 swords. 23 swords, destroy the heaven and the earth. Once the sword intention is activated, the soul will leave the body and seal time and space. This sword is so stunning that it is unparalleled throughout the world of martial arts. Within the realm of swordsmanship, everything will be frozen and can only be slaughtered by him. If you can't break free from the sword domain, let alone the golden elixir, even the masters of nascent soul will have no choice but to wait for death. In fact, he has also reached the supreme state of spiritual manifestation. His sword intention is so high that even I can't match it. Huang Rong and Yao Yu took a breath of cold air. In fact, even though they were curious about Dugu Jian before, after learning the immortal cultivation technique, they actually didn't care much about it, but after hearing Jiang Li's description of Sword 23, they were no longer calm. 100-year-old Wudang master, 23 swords, this is really perfect swordsmanship. Borrowing the law of heaven and earth, what a terrifying sword move. With the realm of a martial artist, the sword master Dugu Jian killed a Yuanying master. He is indeed amazing. Wang Chao, the Zhongwu world is too terrifying. They even created the freezing of time and space. I wonder how Xiongba became the #1 overlord in their world. Xiao Feng of the beggar gang, I can't wait to see the style of the sword master. Zixia gentleman's sword, I can't see it. Didn't Jiang Li say that the sword master Dugu Jian hasn't created the 23 swords yet? Xiao Li Feidao, I regret it. I should have followed Jiang Li with a thick skin. Jiang Li walked for a while with Huang Rong and Yao Yu, and soon arrived at a deserted suburb with open areas on all sides. It was also at this time that a sound of fighting reached the ears of several people. After walking for a while, two figures fighting came into view. The two fought frantically, and the sword energy was crisscrossed during the fight, and the ground was shot and exploded one after another. It was the sword Saint Dugu and Wuming's best friend, Monk Wushu, fighting. Two martial arts masters, their cultivation is no worse than Xiongba, that with the eyes of Yao Yue and the others, they could naturally see the cultivation of the two people fighting. In their world, there are almost no masters, but in the Fengyun world, in just one day, they met two martial arts masters. The middle martial arts world is indeed not comparable to the low martial arts world. No wonder Xiongba's cultivation has not yet conquered the world. The white-haired man is the sword Saint Dugu Jian. Who of you will try? Jiang Li had no intention of going out in person. Brother Jiang Li, let me do it. Huang Rong was eager to try. She also had swordsmanship in Taohua Island, so she naturally wanted to fight with Dugu Jian. I'll help you hold the line. Yao Yue and Huang Rong looked at each other, and the two rushed to the fighting field together, instantly separating sword Saint Dugu and Monk Wushu. Chapter 87 The Strongest Sword, Sword 23. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Who are you? The expressions of Dugu Jian and Monk Wushu changed drastically. As soon as the experts took action, they would know if there was any. In an instant, they discovered that the skills of the two women who suddenly appeared were even more unpredictable than theirs. They didn't even use their full strength to blow away the two of them, and they also discovered Jiang Li not far away. I've heard that Sword Master Dugu's holy sword skills are unrivaled in the world. My sister is curious and wants to see it. Old monk, if you want to fight the Sword Master, wait for another day. Yao Yu faced Monk Wushu, as if she was going to take action if Monk Wushu dared to entangle the Sword Master Dugu Jian again. Girl, please do it. It turned out that he was looking for the Sword Master Dugu Jian. Upon hearing this, Monk Wushu stepped aside. He was not a competitive person to begin with, but he only started fighting with the Sword Master when he saw that the Sword Master was disrespecting the grave of his nameless wife. I didn't expect that after I had been hiding from the world for decades, there would be such masters as two girls in the world. In terms of skill alone, I'm not as good as you. That the sword master was also a little moved. Huang Rong and Yao Yu looked to be in their late teens, but their skills were so high that they were rarely seen in the world. Sword master doesn't have to be self-effacing, we are not in the same system as you. We took advantage. As for martial arts, I'm not as good as you. Huang Rong shook her head and slowly pulled out the sword. She used to practice martial arts, so she naturally understands how difficult it is to reach the level of a grand master in martial arts. Talent and opportunity are both indispensable. Not in the same system. Dugu Jian was stunned for a moment, somewhat unable to understand what he was saying. The next moment, when she saw the long sword drawn by Huang Rong, her eyes lit up. What a sword! I didn't expect there to be such a magical weapon in the world. He stared at the sword in Huang Rong's hand in shock. This is just a magic weapon. Compared to the sword master's peerless sword, it's still inferior. Huang Rong, this is the truth, no matter how sharp her magical weapon is, it will be useless without the stimulation of its master, but sword master Dugu's peerless sword has been channeled, and it is not comparable to this kind of dead thing, and judging from the fact that Nie Feng almost killed Xiongba with one sword, the Wushuang sword is not that simple. Magical weapon. Dugu Jian was stunned again. I have been living in seclusion for too long, and I can no longer keep up with the rhythm of the world. Why was it that I couldn't understand why this woman spoke several times? Please advise. At this point, Huang Rong stopped talking nonsense. After letting out a sweet shout, he raised his sword and charged towards the sword master. Since you want to see the Holy Spirit sword technique, I will fight you with the Holy Spirit sword technique. Jian. Dugu Jian pointed to the sword and immediately started fighting with Huang Rong. For a moment, the sword energy was everywhere in the field. In terms of moves alone, Huang Rong is naturally inferior to Dugu Jian. After all, this is a sword master who has mastered dozens of sword moves. In terms of moves, Wu Ming is probably the only one who can match him. However, Huang Rong's weapons are sharp, and they use magic power, so the power of any move is earth-shattering. Under this kind of fighting method, which is almost to defeat 10 skills with one force, no matter how subtle the Dugu sword moves are, it will not be able to exert its true power. Brother Jiang Li, who among them will win? Wan asked. If the sword master cannot understand the 23 swords, he will definitely not be Rengier's opponent. Jiang Li's mind has long been analyzing the Holy Spirit sword technique. The Holy Spirit sword technique is indeed mysterious, but what I encountered was Huang Rong, a cultivator whose strength level was inherently inferior. The fight was so frustrating that he didn't dare to fight Huang Rong. Even when Huang Rong takes action, he usually dodges and then finds an opportunity to fight back. 23 swords. Dugu Jian's heart moved. Is there really sword 23? Because after his deduction, he found that Jian 22 was already the ultimate in swordsmanship. This mysterious young man said that sword 23 does it really exist? His heart suddenly became hot, and while he was beating, he began to think quickly about sword 23. You watched the sword master Dugu Jian use the Holy Spirit sword technique. Every move is extremely mysterious. The sword technique is connected to the gods. You understand the Holy Spirit sword technique. Finally, after using the Holy Spirit sword technique once, Jiang Li successfully understood the Holy Spirit sword technique. His heart moved, and he said, Dugu, I see that your sword 22 has reached the extreme level of transformation, but your momentum is not yet complete. There must be sword 23. 23 swords, destroy the heaven and the earth. This kind of swordsmanship should not be limited by moves, but the sublimation of sword intent and spirit, that the momentum is not yet exhausted. Only by sublimating the sword intention and spirit can we have sword 23. Not far away, Dugu Jianxin's spirit was shaking, and his eyes emitted a frightening light. He has been obsessed with swordsmanship all his life. He is sincere and trustworthy, and his spiritual power has long been on the verge of becoming a saint. Jiang Li's words at this moment were like an awakening initiation. In an instant, his whole body's aura surged, and his sword intent was like a volcano erupting, making his whole body golden. A magical wave began to slowly spread from his body. All of a sudden, Huang Rong's strategy of knocking down 10 players at once was no longer effective. The sword energy she sent clearly hit Dugu Jian's body, but Dugu Jian seemed to be transparent, allowing the sword intent to pass through, but nothing happened to him. This scene made the eyes of Monk Wushu who was watching the battle pop out. Huang Rong's sword energy clearly tore the ground under Dugu Jian's feet, but he himself seemed to have disappeared. Under the guidance of that young man, Dugu Jian created Sword 23, that he looked at Jiang Li not far away in shock. What kind of monster is this? With just a few words, he guided Sword Saint Dugu to comprehend such a terrible sword technique as Sword 23. You should know that decades ago, Sword Saint created Sword 22, but this young man only looked at it for a while and knew in which direction Sword 23 should be deduced. It's done. Jiang Li's eyes lit up. The scene in front of him was exactly the scene in the original work where Dugu Jian created Sword 23. Ronger, step back. You can't hurt him anymore. Jiang Li called Huang Rong back. Now Dugu Jian has touched the threshold of Sword 23. Even if Huang Rong is 10 times stronger, she can't hurt Dugu Jian. His sword domain has begun to take shape. The sword domain has separated him from reality and is immune to all external damage. If the power is not enough to destroy the sword domain, even if you chop hundreds of swords, it will be useless. In front of Wu Ming's wife's grave, Yaoyue, Wushu monk and others were shocked. No matter how powerful Jiang Li described Sword 23 before, they had no clear concept. It was not until this moment when they saw Dugu Jian as if it was virtual, isolated from the world, and the sword domain was immune to all attacks that they realized the horror of Sword 23. At the same time, this scene was also broadcast live to the chat group by Huang Rong, and the members of the chat group were also shocked. Wudong 100-year-old Taoist, this is the realm that martial arts can reach, which simply refreshes the Taoist's understanding of martial arts. Heaven and Earth Wuji Qinkuan borrowing method, what a shocking swordsmanship. Long bow, the manifestation of the mind is so terrifying. This is the manifestation of the mind is isolated from reality, and it has created a sword domain. Little Li Feidao, is this a perfect swordsmanship? I am Spider-Man. No, the real horror is Jiang Li. Wang Chao, that's right. If it weren't for the guidance of Jiang Li, I don't know when Dugu Jian would be able to comprehend Sword 23. Jiang Li is always the god. Zixia gentleman's sword, how can we fight this? He seems to be non-existent. Zombie Taoist, why do I have a feeling that martial arts is the most awesome? The initial Sword 23 made everyone's scalp tingle. It didn't show any terrifying power, but this kind of scene that couldn't be hit was really terrifying. It was like an ordinary person facing a ghost, and they could only wait to die. Tiangxiaoui, Shumba's scalp was also tingling at this moment, and he was terrified. How is it possible? How could the Sword Saint be so amazing? After his Sword 22 broke through Sword 23, he actually went straight to the supreme realm of the spiritual manifestation of the national martial arts and created the sword domain, that he originally planned to challenge the Sword Saint in the near future and completely annex Wushuang City. Now that Sword 23 has appeared, Xiongba no longer has any intention of annexing Wushuang City. What he is praying for now is that Dugu Jian will not come to trouble him. The unmatched Sword 23 makes him not even have the courage to fight Dugu Jian. As Zhang Sanfeng said, this is no longer the scope of martial arts, any moves are a joke in front of this sword domain. Chapter 88 Jiang Li's Goal, The Blood of the Four Sacred Beasts. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You observe Dugu Jian using Sword 23, understand the formation of the sword domain, and learn Sword 23. The moment Jian 23 was born, Jiang Li understood all the secrets. Huang Rong retreated. Yaoyue no longer confronts Monk Wushu. Dugu Jian's energy is rapidly decreasing. Jiang Li suddenly had a flash of light in his eyes. Originally, Sword Master Dugu could live for a while longer. When he arrived here before, Jiang Li found that he was almost at the end of his life. His energy was exhausted, and he could only live for half a month at most, just like in the original work. But now that Jian 23 was born, Dugu Jian's lifespan was quickly consumed. If there is no accident, Dugu Jian can live for up to 4 or 5 days, if he uses Sword 23 now. His physical body will die immediately. After all, he is only a martial arts master. As for the power of Sword 23, Golden Elixir masters can only wait for death, and this is almost the same result in the nascent soul stage. It is so powerful that it cannot be used by ordinary people, even the founder of the technique will die if he uses it. Because his body could not support such a powerful explosion of spiritual power, destroying the heaven and the earth is not just talk, not only destroying others, but also destroying himself. Amitba, congratulations to the sword master for realizing the shocking 23 swords. Monk Wushu walked over and looked at Jiang Li and Dugu Jian in surprise. Dugu Jian's face was pale, obviously because he had overdrawn his life. Jiang Li said calmly. The sword intention of Sword 23 is too powerful. If you use your current skill, your physical body will not be able to bear it. If nothing happens, you only have 2 or 3 days to live. Let's go. Jiang Li's last words were addressed to Huang Rong and others. After pointing out the Dugu sword, his strength swept away and he soared into the sky. What a group of gods and immortals, they are among the gods. Monk Wushu and Dugu Jian looked at this scene in shock. 3 or 5 days. Dugu Jian murmured to himself. Monk Wushu, farewell. Turning around, Dugu Jian strode away. He was going to finish his life. Aren't you looking for Wuming anymore? Monk Wushu shouted from behind. Now that Wuming is no longer my opponent, there is no point in fighting him. He walked dozens of meters in one step. After a few flashes, he disappeared from Monk Wushu's sight. Today the old monk really opened his eyes. I didn't expect there to be so many strange people in the world. After sighing, Monk Wushu also disappeared here. After a while, Wulin Xinhua Wuming appeared here, and all he felt was the unparalleled sword intent that had not dissipated completely. A super master has appeared. His swordsmanship is far superior to mine. Wuming took a breath. This concentration of sword intent moved him. Master, could it be those people who injured me before? Jian Chen's face was pale. After he was injured, he had to go back to find his master Wuming, and then the master and the disciple rushed to the cemetery. It doesn't look like it. This sword intent gives me a familiar feeling. It seems to be Sword Master Dugu Jian. Has he figured out a trick that surpasses Sword 22? The next moment, Wuming looked shocked. He also knows the holy swordsmanship, and has also tried to deduce Sword 23. He knows what a terrifying scene it will be if Sword 23 is born. What? The Sword Master realized Sword 23. Jian Chen also looked horrified. 23 swords can destroy heaven and earth. Master Wuming once said that Sword 23 is no longer a human sword. Let's go. Master, I want to see when such a person appears in the world. He will almost kill you with a roar. After cleaning up his wife's graveyard, Wuming took Jian Chen and continued to search for Jiang Li and the others. Brother Jiang Li, have you realized the 23 swords? In the sky, Huang Rong asked Jiang Li curiously. Nature. Jiang Li nodded and said, but your spiritual power has not yet reached the point where your soul can become a saint. You cannot learn the 23 swordsmen. As soon as these words came out, Huang Rong and Yao Yu's faces became flattered. Another spiritual manifestation. Many powerful killing moves actually require spiritual strength, at worst, to reach the point of spiritual manifestation. Of course, you can also learn the previous sword skills, which will greatly hone your spiritual power. If you practice the previous sword skills for many years, one day you will naturally learn Sword 23. After finishing speaking, Jiang Li pointed out and passed all the Holy Spirit sword techniques from Sword 1 to Sword 23 to the two of them. Thank you, Brother Jiang Li. The two of them looked at Jiang Li for a while. After it was over, Jiang Li opened the chat group and uploaded the Holy Spirit sword technique. Holy Spirit sword technique, the secret technique of martial saint level swordsmanship, worth 500,000 points. Do you decide to upload it? Martial saint level. Jiang Li was a little moved when he saw 500,000 points. The Dugu sword in the original work has exhausted its strength and has not exerted the true power of Sword 23 at all. After all, it was just created, and he died the moment he used it. In the world of martial arts, it is absolutely unimaginable that a swordsmanship can be worth this amount of points. The power of Sword 23 depends on the user's spiritual power. The stronger the spiritual power, the more terrifying the power of the sword domain formed by the sword technique will be. Upload, group friend Jiang Li uploaded Holy Spirit sword technique, please check it in time. Jiang Li, if you are interested in sword 23, you can go check it out. Long bow, boss Jiang Li is a good man. Wang Chao, sure enough, I knew that by the end of this fight, the Holy Spirit sword technique would be understood by boss Jiang Li. Wudong's 100-year-old Taoist, hiss. 500,000 points, Taoist farewell. Zixia Junzi sword, martial saint level martial arts has appeared. It turns out that the Grand Master is not the end of martial arts. Heaven and Earth infinite universe borrowing techniques, 500,000 points is too outrageous. A martial arts secret book has defeated so many cultivation techniques. Yao Yu, think about the effect of sword 23. It's normal. As soon as the sword comes out, everything is frozen. Taoist Master Zombie, this is a technique that can be used to kill nascent soul masters in the foundation building stage after learning it. I think 500,000 is a bit low. Shaoli Feidao, I can't afford it, I can't afford it. After uploading the Holy Spirit sword technique, Jiang Li stopped paying attention to the chat group, he withdrew. In the sky, he and Huang Rong looked down at the entire land in the sky. Brother Jiang Li, where are we going now? Huang Rong asked. Jiang Li took them to fly instead of leaving, so he knew that Jiang Li had another purpose. After all, we can only stay for 7 days, so we can't go slowly. Go to Lingyun Grotto and look for the Leshan giant Buddha. Jiang Li said. There is a fire unicorn in Lingyun Cave. When Jiang Li came to this world, one of his goals was to become the fire Qilin. It is said that Qilin is a strange beast from heaven and earth. If he could get Qilin blood, it might help him improve his bloodline. Not enough Qilin blood? Then add phoenix blood, dragon blood and Xuanwu blood. The bloodlines of the 4 great beasts are gathered into one body, and then merged into the body of the indestructible ancestral dragon. Maybe it can also allow the Vajra indestructible ancestral dragon body to evolve again. And in addition to Huaqilin, Lingyun Cave also contains the top 10 martial arts and Xuanwu true skills left by Wu Wudi, the most dazzling martial arts genius in Fengyun world for hundreds of years. What's there? Huang Rong looked over curiously. There must be unusual things or people in places that interest Jiang Li do. There is a magical skill left by a super martial arts master. In the world of middle martial arts, you wouldn't think that Xiongba is the top level. The real strong man in this world can kill a tyrant with just one finger. Huang Rong and Yao Yue were both a little moved when they heard this. Brother Jiang Li, how powerful is this master? You can call him a super martial arts master. So far, the most powerful martial arts master they have ever seen is Yin Zhong of Shuyadongshan, who has Jin Dan level strength, but even Yin Zhong was not called a super martial arts master by Jiang Li. How strong? Jiang Li pondered for a moment and said, 100 years ago, in the world of wind and cloud, there was an old monster who had lived for more than 2,000 years, causing trouble in the world and intending to subvert the martial arts world. Hiss. As soon as these words came out, Huang Rong and Yao Yu's expressions changed drastically. An old monster that has lived for more than 2,000 years sounds terrifying. You must know that even Yin Zhong before him only lived for 500 years. Wait a minute, brother Jiang Li, you are right, this man has lived for 2,000 years. Can martial arts also lead to immortality? It is simply unimaginable what level of skill the 2,000 years old monster has reached. They didn't think that this old monster who had lived for 2,000 years would be like Yin Zhong, who had been unable to improve his skills due to injuries. Yao Yu subconsciously called Jiang Li to stop, wondering if he had made a mistake. After all, in the chat group, there are people from different martial arts worlds. But I haven't heard that martial arts can also make people live forever. Maybe he is an immortal like Yin Zhong, Huang Rong said. Chapter 89, Unparalleled Yin-Yang Sword. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Li shook his head. No matter what system you practice to a certain level, you can naturally live forever. But this person is not immortal, nor does he achieve immortality through practice. He has taken phoenix blood to have this ability of immortality. Huang Rong's eyes condensed. phoenix blood. Jiang Li nodded and said, it's not a real phoenix. A real phoenix cannot be born in a mere Zhongwu world. This is a mythical beast that looks like a phoenix. If you find it and kill it and take its blood, you can gain the ability of immortality. This old monster who has lived for 2,000 years has caused chaos in the world. It was this super martial arts master I mentioned who beat him half to death and almost destroyed his immortal body. He was so scared that he had to hide. Huang Rong and Yao Yu were amazed, too powerful. After decades of training, he defeated an old monster who had lived for 2,000 years. This man's amazingness is probably even better than that of the Sword Saint. He led the two women along at lightning speed, and soon a huge Buddha statue as high as the mountain appeared in his sight. Ha! I didn't expect there would be such an unexpected gain. Jiang Li's spiritual power extended far away and drilled into the Lingyun cave. He was originally looking for the figure of the fire Kirin, but he unexpectedly found that Nie Feng was also here. Brother Jiang Li, what is the unexpected gain? Jiang Li said, Nie Feng is here too. That day he almost killed Xiong Ba with the Wushuang sword. In fact, it was because the Wushuang sword contained the most terrifying martial arts in the Fengyun world, a martial art that was known to be eternal and invincible, love of the city. Compared with love of the city, even the sword 23 was eclipsed. Both are the manifestation of spiritual power, but the power is too different. So crazy. Eternal and invincible martial arts, this tone is too big. Love in a fallen city sounds so beautiful. Is it more powerful than Sword 23? Huang Rong and Yao Yu were both incredulous. Eternal and invincible. Is there really such a martial art? Jiang Li said, looking at the heavens and the worlds, love in a fallen city is naturally not qualified to be called an eternal and invincible martial art. But if it is only in the world of Fengyun, it is qualified. It is indeed a martial art more powerful than Sword 23. The two women were moved again. You should know that this is a world of middle-level martial arts, where there are strong men like the king crossing the river and old monsters who have lived for more than 2,000 years. It is hard to imagine that such martial arts can be eternally invincible in such a world. In fact, it is not quite accurate to say that love in the city is an eternally invincible martial art. Because in the world of Fengyun, there is another equally powerful martial art. Mahamudra. However, the two martial arts have never been clashed, and both can break the void, so it is hard to say which martial art is the real invincible martial art. Love in the city, you may think it is beautiful, but in fact it is an extremely cruel martial art. When the founder of the martial arts used it for the first time, he wiped out a city from the ground and killed hundreds of thousands of people. That is why it is named Love in the City. The two women took a breath, not to mention the Jindan masters. Even the Yuanying masters could not wipe out a city with a population of hundreds of thousands with one strike. The ultimate realm of martial arts is really exaggerated. After a few words, he brought the two women to the feet of the Leshan giant Buddha, patrolling the position of Nie Feng in the spiritual power. Jiang Li led the two women into the Lingyun cave. In the cave, Nie Feng had just finished practicing. Because of the change in the plot, Mingyue died in the hands of Xiongba, and the Wushuang Yin sword and Yang sword were in his hands at this moment. Xiongba, I will make you pay with blood. Nie Feng was full of murderous intent, even though he found the family heirloom snow-drinking mad knife and Ao Han's 6 secrets here, and took the blood Bodhi to increase his power. He was not in a hurry to seek revenge on Xiongba. In the fight that day, although he was lucky to repel Xiongba, he knew the gap between himself and Xiongba. Someone. Suddenly, Nie Feng's eyes condensed, and he reached out to grab Shuing Guangdao and Wushuang Yin-Yang. That he looked back and saw a man and two women walking over as if they were strolling in the garden. In the dangerous Lingyun cave, they seemed to be strolling in the back garden. These three people, the man is outstanding and the woman is stunningly beautiful, which surprised Nie Feng. This kind of people is really the best he has ever seen in his life. Go. Not knowing whether these people were sent by Xiongba to kill him or were accidentally encountered, Nie Feng wanted to avoid them after getting over the initial shock, but he only took 2 steps when he heard the man's voice. Nie Feng, don't go, we came here specially to find you. Then, something happened that shocked him. As the voice rang out, Nie Fong was horrified to find that his feet seemed to be out of control, and he could no longer take the third step. What kind of method is this? Nie Fong was horrified, even if his true energy was running wildly, and even his mad blood was about to break out, he couldn't shake it. Don't get excited, we are not here to kill you. On the contrary, we are here to help you. Jiang Li saw that Nie Feng's eyes were red and bursts of black energy were bursting out of his body, and he knew that this guy's mad blood was about to break out, and hurriedly explained. Sure enough, after hearing this, although Nie Feng was still on guard, he was not so agitated. Sure enough, he is the son of destiny, and he is blessed with great fortune. Jiang Li glanced at Nie Feng and found that Nie Feng's luck was the highest he had ever seen. May I ask who you are and what do you want me to do? After noticing that the power that made him unable to shake disappeared, Nie Feng took a step back and asked. My name is Jiang Li, and I'm here to make a deal with you. Give me the Wushuang sword in your hand, and I'll teach you a technique that can kill Xiong Ba. Jiang Li naturally didn't want to let go of the love of the city. As for the saying that only a couple who swear to die together can comprehend the secret of the love of the city, this is nothing to Jiang Li. In his eyes, this password is just a change in his mind, which can be easily disguised, and with his spiritual power, he doesn't need to forge this password to comprehend the love of the city. Okay. Nie Feng handed the Wushuang sword in his hand to Jiang Li without thinking. He didn't consider whether Jiang Li was joking with him at all, because the terrifying means displayed by Jiang Li made him understand the gap between them, let alone the Wushuang sword. Even if he wanted the Shuing Quangdao, he would take it out without hesitation. As for the martial arts to kill Xiongba, he had no idea at all. It would be best if he gave it to him, but it would be okay if he didn't give it to him. The best thing was to save his life. Jiang Li grabbed the Wushuang Yin-Yang sword in mid-air and put it away. Let's go, I'll take you to find the martial arts that can kill Xiongba. Jiang Li certainly wouldn't teach Nie Feng any martial arts, but just let Nie Feng obtain the Xuanwu true art and the 10 strong martial arts in advance. With his powerful spiritual power, he had already found the location of the martial arts left by Shi Wudi in Lingyun Cave. Nie Feng showed a look of doubt and uncertainty. The other party didn't seem to be fooling him, and it seemed that he really wanted to teach him a martial arts that could kill Xiongba. Thank you. Nie Feng showed a look of gratitude. Having fought with Xiongba, he naturally understood the horror of Xiongba. That guy didn't know where he got the opportunity, and his martial arts became unfathomable. Even if his power had increased several times now, he was not sure he could kill Xiongba. Chapter 90 Blood Bodhi, Top 10 Martial Arts. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lingyun Cave is full of twists and turns, and there are forks everywhere. It is easy to get lost if you are not careful, but this is nothing for Jiang Li. After walking for a while, he took Nie Feng into a secret room. This is Xuanwu Zhengong and 10 strong martial arts, left by the great master Wu Wudi 100 years ago. If you can learn it, it will be a piece of cake to kill Xiongba. Jiang Li pointed to the dense patterns on the stone wall and said, at the same time, his spiritual power quickly memorized Xuanwu Zhengong and 10 strong martial arts. Huang Rong's little cook Huang Rong and the 3 daughters also stared at the magic on the stone wall intently. Thank you, young man. May I ask what your name is? Nie Feng will definitely repay this kindness. That with just one glance, Nie Feng found that these martial arts were extremely mysterious and were many times more powerful than Ao Han Lu Ju and Feng Shen Leg. In Lingyun Cave, there is such a peerless magic skill, that while being shocked, Nie Feng became more and more grateful to Jiang Li. With the opponent's terrifying means, he could do nothing even if he robbed the Wushuang sword. He didn't expect that the opponent was so trustworthy that he actually taught him a shocking martial arts. My name is Jiang Li. It's just an equal transaction, there's no need to talk about repayment. Nie Feng, see you again if we're lucky. If you want to kill Xiongba, you have to join forces with Bu Jingyan. The two of you will be great. With Jiang Li's realm, it wouldn't take much time to memorize Xuanwu Zhengong and the top 10 martial arts. In other words, he recorded Xuanwu Zhengong and the top 10 martial arts in the time it took to speak. After giving Nie Feng another word, Jiang Li turned around and left with Huang Rong and Yao Yu. Wind and cloud, brother Yun. Nie Feng's heart moved, although he hid. He also knew that Xiongba also wanted to kill Bu Jingyun. Jiang Li left him with an unfathomable impression. Nie Feng took even a casual word very seriously. What a mysterious group of people, the world is full of hidden dragons and crouching tigers. Looking at the backs of Jiang Li, Huang Rong and the other two walking away, his face was full of sighs. After the few people completely disappeared from his sight, Nie Feng began to gather his mind and concentrate on comprehending the Xuanwu true skill. Brother Jiang Li, are you not leaving yet? Is there something good in this Lingyun cave? After leaving Nie Feng, Yu found that Jiang Li was not walking away from Lingyun cave, but continued to go deeper into it. Hearing this, Jiang Li said, there are indeed some good things here. The fire burns the Lingyun cave, and the water floods the Buddha's knees. In this Lingyun cave, there lives an ancient mythical beast, the fire Kirin. This fire Kirin is a mythical beast of the same level as the fire phoenix that can make people immortal before. Although the blood of this fire Kirin cannot make people immortal like the blood of the phoenix, it also has all kinds of incredible effects. And in this Lingyun cave, because of the existence of the fire Kirin, there is a kind of divine object called blood Bodhi. This blood Bodhi can improve the power. Huang Rong and Yao Yu's eyes lit up. The mythical beast fire Kirin, this is something to see. The blood Bodhi can't be missed. Hee. I'll go to the chat group first and tell everyone that Nie Feng has learned the Xuanwu true art to scare Xiongba. Huang Rong's eyes suddenly turned. She was so clever that she thought of something fun. Whatever you want, Jiang Li said indifferently. Little chef from Peach Blossom Island, guess who we met during our travels? Huang Rong suddenly appeared in the chat group. His words immediately aroused everyone's curiosity. Centennial Taoist from Wudong, who did you meet? Long Bow, could it be another person who is more stunning than the Sword Saint? Zixia Gentleman Sword, could it be the most beautiful woman in the world of Fengyun? I have to look out for Jiang Li. Little chef from Peach Blossom Island, none of them. We met Xiongba's disciple Nie Feng. Nie Feng. In Taiangxiawi, Xiongba, who was peeking at the screen, had a thought in his heart. He had not heard from Nie Feng for a long time. It was a happy thing to hear from Huang Rong about Nie Feng. It would be even better if we knew where we met Nie Feng. Little Li Feidao, where did you meet him? I am also very curious about this Nie Feng. Zombie Taoist priest, what else? Little chef of Peach Blossom Island, this Nie Feng is so lucky. When we met him, he just found a martial arts left by a senior master. Brother Jiang Li said that this martial arts is called Xuanwu True Kung Fu and 10 Strong Martial Arts, which was left by Wu Wudi, the most amazing master in Fengyun world 100 years ago. It is said that this master used these two martial arts to almost kill an old monster in this world who had lived for more than 2,000 years. This time Xiongba is dead. When Nie Feng finishes learning, I am afraid no one can save Xiongba. Tian Di Wu Ji Qian Kun Jiafa, damn, terrifying, he has lived for more than 2,000 years, longer than the Black Mountain old monster. Wudong Centenarian Taoist, this luck is too terrifying, he actually found such martial arts. Zombie Taoist, he is really destined to kill Xiongba. Xiongba has a chat group, and they have martial arts that almost killed the 2,000-year-old monster. Zixia Gentleman Sword, Xiongba is really finished, and he should be completely offline in a short time. Wang Chao, what kind of pervert is this? He almost killed a monster that's over 2,000 years old. It shouldn't be hard to beat Xiongba. Having said this, Huang Rong quickly left the chat group. Her evil taste kicked in. I'm afraid Xiongba would be scared to death now. In fact, it's almost the same. At this moment in the Taiangxiawi, Xiongba's face changed drastically, showing a look of horror. He was terrified by the status of the monster who had lived for more than 2,000 years. Even if the monster was rubbish, it was better than Zhang Sanfeng and others. The upper limit was unpredictable. This old monster was almost killed, so it was not easy to kill Xiongba, not to mention that the magic power has not been cultivated. Even if it is cultivated, it is probably a dead end. Fake. Huang Rong must be scaring me. What Xuanwu Jingyang, the top 10 martial arts, and Wu Wudi, Xiongba, have never heard of it. There is also a 2,000-year-old monster. How can there be someone who lives so long? I don't believe it. That Xiong Ba's mentality was a little broken, and he hypnotized himself crazily, although he really hadn't heard of Wu Wuti or the old monster who lived for 2,000 years, but he knew that the probability of Huang Rong telling a lie was basically impossible. That's why he hypnotized himself crazily. The most important thing is that he has no way to deal with this situation. Damn it, she must have done it on purpose. That what made Xiong Ba even more angry was that Huang Rong said so much, but didn't say where she found Nie Feng. This was obviously said on purpose to mess with his mentality. This is the blood Bodhi, a supreme treasure that can increase the power of more than 10 years, even if it is injured, it is still a healing treasure. That after walking for a while, Jiang Li brought Huang Rong and Yao Yu to a place full of red light spots. Those light spots are the mature blood Bodhi. Blood Bodhi, grown in the place where the fire Kirin cries blood, worth 500 points, are you sure to upload it? Jiang Li picked a blood Bodhi and used the chat group to identify it, and found that the value of a blood Bodhi was so high. It seems that I underestimated the effect of the blood Bodhi. Jiang Li did not sell the blood Bodhi in his hand to the chat group, but threw it into his mouth casually. In an instant, a warm power began to radiate around him. This little energy of the blood Bodhi is naturally nothing to him, but Jiang Li found that this thing tasted pretty good, sweet, like sugar in strong liquor. When Kirishima opens, there will definitely be a big battle waiting for me. I have to save some blood Bodhi. Jiang Li picked a few more and saved them, then stopped.